Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Sean coming at you from high level. I know, how can we continue to pound out all these amazing releases? I don't know, it's just the dev team is so fantastic. So check this out. Today we've got another enhancement on the inbound webhook trigger. So what the heck is that? So first, let's just jump in over the screenshot. So in the workflows, there is an inbound webhook. An inbound webhook is literally, basically, we're giving you a URL and we're saying, listen, you can send data into high level from anywhere you darn well please, and do stuff with it in a workflow in real time. That's what an inbound webhook is. But today we are going to enhance that quite a bit, as you can see. So a couple of things, new methods allowed. You can do, and this is a little techie, so don't if you feel like I don't know what that is, don't worry, it's all good. But for those of you who do, it's you can do a get method, you can do a put method, you can do a head, you can do an options, and then spaces and custom values now work across the workflow app. Query parameters and headers are accessible inside the workflow. So if you pass query parameters in, like on a GET request, or there's header parameters that are coming in, you can also do that. And there's UI enhancements. Okay, so how does it work? For all custom variables, but mainly inbound webhook ones, you can use the spaces to reference them. So for example, inbound webhook request.shopify space product space purchase will now function perfectly, whereas before it would not. We will edit that in the backend to match key with space. The handlebars will accept it. No changes required in the setup, and the spaces are in setups where spaces were already there. You don't have to do anything. Basically, it will now just work. Besides post, inbound webhooks can now do get and put methods. They'll function exactly the same and store the data in the same way. They'll appear together with the post request when mapping the reference. Head and options methods will simply return 200 success responses. So that way, third parties like Thrivecart, for example, and others can hit us and confirm the endpoint exists and is valid. So real quick there, for those of you who wonder what the heck that is, basically when you're setting this up, let's say there's a system out in the world that's gonna sort of shoot over to us. What some of those systems will often do is send a little ping essentially to see is that URL legit and real and works, and they'll send it via head, quote unquote, or options request type. And we're just gonna say 200, which means A-okay. So that way they recognize that the webhook is valid. So that's awesome job. Now, headers will be saved inside the request payload. So headers, sort of super taggy here, but just basically, in addition to the request itself, you can set sort of these additional things that come in, and they're called headers. And now they're also actually available in the workflow, which is awesome, by the way. Query parameters set via URL will also be saved inside the request payload. And this generally, and actually, ironically enough, I would say, generally that's only for a GET request and this and that. But you can still do it with other request types as well. So it's awesome the team rocked that out. Why is this important? All third-party apps that have outbound webhook integration should now fully function with us. The only case where it won't is when there's a lack of phone or email reference to a contact, although we are working to fix that. So AKA right now today, every workflow is really contact-based, right? So you're really focused in around a contact of some kind. So we're literally creating a contact essentially, or we have a contact in each case. But what is really important here is if you have a contact that you're trying to reference versus create a new one, you can see you simply can add email equals integration at contact.com to the end of the workflow URL and use that as the main contact for the integration. So this is kind of like a workaround for the moment if you aren't referencing a contact directly in the inbound webhook. So anyways, let's look at a couple screenshots and then close her out. So here is the workflow trigger. You can see when you choose it, you'll get a URL where you can see you can post and get and put. And then when you're ready, when you've done that, you can hit fetch sample requests. And then once that comes back, we'll gather those requests, show it to you, and then you can actually use that to actually map in all the data subsequently in the workflow steps. Again, this is sort of like an advanced thing. So for any of you who are wondering, when would I ever use this? If you're wondering that, you probably won't, right? But if you're really trying to interconnect external systems to high level, this is an amazing way to do it. So anyways, awesome job by the workflow team. As you can see right here, there are help articles. So for example, you can search how to use the inbound webhook workflow premium trigger, or I would just search inbound webhook and I bet you money it'll come up. Or you can also do, actually I think that's the same thing. Yeah, so that is the help article for that. So on that note, I think I've got one other video to go. Otherwise, I hope all of you are having an amazing Thursday and we'll talk soon. Bye.